After living the life of a well-to-do continental European youth in the 1970s, Mario Enzler's introduction to the Swiss Army included having his long ponytail amputated by knife by his new commanding officer, immediately after reporting for duty in Geneva. After a colonel who turned out to be a Catholic priest army chaplain picked Mario up to give him a ride, designated him reader and altar server at Mass, and provided him an hour of Eucharistic adoration time afterward. The colonel eventually recommended Mario for duty in the Papal Swiss Guard of Pope John Paul II. Mario transferred to the Vatican City State in Rome. For 40 months, Mario Enzler served in the world's smallest army, performing every assigned duty for the Polish Pope, from overnight hallway desk attendant to conducting the Swiss Guard Band. And from the authentic Swiss Guard, Mario proceeded to a career as an authentic Swiss banker. Today, Mario heads the Ecclesial Administration and Management program at Catholic University of America. He also travels widely to speak on topics of authentic leadership, especially referring to what he learned from his unique personal relationship with Pope St. John Paul II. Tom Crane met with Mario, who prefers avoiding his academic credentials, just before a Legatus Rosary Mass and dinner at the John Paul II Pastoral Center in Vancouver for a brief moment of substance as one of our Knights to Know.
Mario, Pope St. John Paul II is quite famously reported to have said, "If it doesn't happen on television, it doesn't happen." Yet today we live in this milieu of technology where television's become a two-way debate. There's people creating the programming and people reacting to it. Where do you see leadership emerging as our children and our children's children grow up in this technological interactive stew?
Well, today we live in what I will define as digital age, all right? And to me, authentic leadership is when you are ahead of the news and when you actually take control on the story, how the media, they are going to spiral it. And St. Pope John Paul II was a master, all right? I spent hours looking at him, how he stood in front of cameras. He knew exactly where to look, who to look. He was very careful on his facial expression, his posture, because he knew the message that he wanted to give was an authentic message of leadership. And St. Pope John Paul II was also trying to proclaim that as a pope, he had to suffer. And that's why he constantly acclaimed that there is a higher gospel, and that's the gospel of suffering. And he used the media. If you remember, he wasn't afraid, he wasn't embarrassed. Until the last day, few days before he passed away, there was the Angelus, where the cameras were basically facing him, and some saliva came out of his mouth, and no words came out. So he knew the importance of the camera, of the media, to pass a message. And the message that I took are two words that St. Pope John Paul II said many times on radios or on front of cameras. And these two words were, be more. So to me, today, to be a leader, it means to be first and foremost a servant leader. And in order to do that, we have to be more. We don't have to do more. We can get there, but first we have to be more. Mm-hmm. And what I took from that was to rediscover, and I know all the Knights of Columbus will agree with me when I say we all have to rediscover our baptismal commitments, because we have to be conscious that we've been incorporated into the church. And because of that, we are ready to cooperate with the church and its secular dimension. So let's not be afraid, but actually let's be more.
Can you share with us what part of leadership that you don't think is changing in this world of fake news and fake everything?
Everybody at least in my current environment, which is educational, being a professor at Catholic University, everybody's asking, where have the good leaders gone? Especially the young adults. They are constantly asking. We are forgetting to proclaim that everything we have, materialistic or spiritual, it's in us because of Christ. And so if we think that we can do anything or do everything on our own, well, that's the first deficiency in leadership. We can't get from here to there in a giant leap. We have to take advantage of all the success and learn from all our mistakes, but we have to remain humble. And today, many leaders have lost the meaning of hope. Authentic leaders are people of hope, because hope equals truth. And we cannot be afraid of the truth. St. John Paul II told me once that we always have to be for the whole truth, even when it hurts. Today, I feel that some leaders are afraid of facing the truth. But I pray that that fear will vanish, that darkness will walk away, and through the Eucharist we see the light of the authentic truth. Facing the truth will reignite our leadership.
There's an old African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
I like that. Together we are a force for unity. I believe that St. John Paul II emphasized that unity on his daily life, the way he talked, everything that he wrote. So to me, the answer to your question is, we have to be able to glorify the Lord together, because ultimately we want to get to heaven. And I don't want to be fast, as you just said. I want to make sure that you get to heaven. And I want to make sure that you try to get me to heaven. So together we'll become this force for unity, so that we can actually see the eternal life.
Thank you very much, Mario.
My
so
pleasure.
Great to have you join us at Legatus tonight, and thank you for sharing your
you.
insights with our brother knights.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you.